The Roanoke colony vanished without a trace, over 100 men, women, and children gone. The only clue left behind, a single word carved into a tree, Croatoan. To this day, no one knows what truly happened, but Roanoke is just one thread in a vast tapestry of ancient mysteries that defy explanation. From cryptic carvings on forgotten stones to entire civilizations that disappeared overnight, the ancient world is a puzzle box filled with secrets that continue to stump even the brightest minds. Why do these mysteries endure? What do they reveal about our ancestors and perhaps even about ourselves? In this video, we'll unravel 50 of the most baffling enigmas of the ancient world, each one a testament to the ingenuity, ambition, and sometimes the sheer strangeness of humanity's past. So, are you ready to step into the unknown and explore the secrets that history has yet to reveal? Let's begin. The legend of Atlantis has captured imaginations for centuries, but where did this story even begin? It all traces back to the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who first described Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization that existed around 9,000 years before his time. It was said to be a paradise rich in resources and technological marvels, until it fell out of favor with the gods and was swallowed by the sea in a single day and night of catastrophe. But here's the intriguing question: was Atlantis a real place, or was it simply a story Plato invented to teach a moral lesson? Many scholars argue that Atlantis was never meant to be taken literally. They suggest it was a philosophical allegory, a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and the consequences of losing moral virtue. In this interpretation, Atlantis becomes a metaphor for the fragility of even the most advanced societies. Yet, others believe Plato's account might have been inspired by real events. Could the story of Atlantis have been based on a forgotten civilization or a natural disaster, like the eruption of Thera around 1600 BC, which devastated the Minoan civilization on Crete? The parallels between Plato's description and archaeological findings have fueled this theory for decades. In modern times, the search for Atlantis has become a global obsession. Expeditions have scoured the globe from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, using cutting-edge technologies like sonar mapping and satellite imagery. Some researchers have even proposed locations as far-flung as Antarctica or the Sahara Desert. But despite all the tools at our disposal, Atlantis remains elusive. Could it still be out there, hidden beneath the ocean's depths, waiting to be discovered? Or is the true mystery of Atlantis less about its physical existence and more about why this story continues to resonate with us so deeply? The allure of Atlantis lies not just in its possible discovery, but in what it represents: the idea of a lost world, a civilization that achieved greatness only to vanish without a trace. It speaks to our fascination with the unknown and our desire to uncover the secrets of the past. And as we'll see, Atlantis is just one of many ancient mysteries that keep us searching for answers. From forgotten cities to unexplained artifacts, the ancient world is full of enigmas that challenge our understanding of history and push us to keep exploring. High above the arid plains of southern Peru, a sprawling canvas stretches across the desert floor, a canvas not of paint but of earth itself. These are the Nazca Lines, enormous geoglyphs etched into the ground, some stretching over 200 meters in length. From the air, they reveal intricate designs: a hummingbird with wings outstretched, a spider with perfectly proportioned legs, and even a monkey with a spiraling tail. But who created these colossal artworks, and more importantly, why? The Nazca Lines have baffled researchers for decades, offering no easy answers. Theories about their purpose range from the practical to the extraordinary. Some believe they served as an ancient astronomical calendar, aligning with celestial events to mark seasons or guide agricultural cycles. Others propose they were part of religious rituals, pathways for spiritual processions or offerings to the gods. And then there are the more speculative ideas. Could these lines have been meant as signals to extraterrestrial visitors, a way for ancient people to communicate with beings from the stars? While this theory captures the imagination, it remains one of many possibilities in a puzzle that continues to elude definitive explanation. What makes the Nazca Lines even more fascinating is the sheer scale and precision of their creation. Without the benefit of modern technology, the Nazca people meticulously designed and executed these geoglyphs, using simple tools and an intimate understanding of their landscape. The lines were made by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide-coated pebbles that cover the desert surface, revealing the lighter-colored earth beneath. This stark contrast allows the designs to stand out vividly, but it also makes them vulnerable. Wind, rain, and human activity threaten to erase these ancient masterpieces, raising urgent questions about how to preserve them for future generations. The Nazca Lines are more than just mysterious markings on the ground. They are a testament to human creativity and ingenuity. And yet, they are only one example of the many artistic enigmas left behind by ancient civilizations. From the deserts of Peru to the jungles of Cambodia, these ancient artworks challenge our understanding of the past and inspire us to keep searching for answers. As we move forward, the Nazca Lines remind us that some mysteries are as vast and enduring as the landscapes they inhabit. But if you thought the ancient world was all mythology and simple tools, think again. Nestled in the wreckage of a 2,000-year-old shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera, archaeologists uncovered a device so astonishing, it's been called the world's first computer. Meet the Antikythera Mechanism, a bronze marvel of engineering that has baffled scientists for over a century. Crafted around 150 to 100 BCE, this intricate device is a labyrinth of gears, dials, and inscriptions. It's no larger than a shoebox, but its complexity rivals that of an 18th-century Swiss clock. Researchers believe it was used to predict astronomical events with remarkable precision, tracking the movements of the Sun, Moon, and even the 5 known planets at the time. Imagine holding a machine that could calculate lunar eclipses or chart the positions of celestial bodies years in advance. This wasn't just a tool, it was a window into the cosmos for ancient Greek astronomers. What makes the Antikythera Mechanism so extraordinary isn't just its purpose, it's the level of sophistication behind it. The gears are precisely cut, with some containing as many as 220 teeth, all interlocking in a way that suggests a deep understanding of mechanical engineering. For centuries, historians believed such technology didn't exist until the Renaissance, over 1,000 years later. Yet here it is, a relic from antiquity that defies our assumptions about the past. But here's the real mystery: who created it, and how did they possess the knowledge to build something so advanced? Some speculate it was the work of geniuses like Archimedes or Hipparchus, both renowned for their contributions to mathematics and astronomy. Others suggest it may have been part of a larger tradition of craftsmanship, now lost to time. What we do know is that the Antikythera Mechanism stands as a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient world, a world far more advanced than we often give it credit for. And if this ancient computer leaves you questioning what else the ancients might have achieved, just wait. Because the deeper we dig, the more mysteries we uncover, each one rewriting the story of human innovation. Among the unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, few are as baffling or as visually captivating as the Voynich Manuscript. This enigmatic book, named after the Polish book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it in 1912, has puzzled scholars, cryptographers, and amateur sleuths for over a century. Its pages are filled with flowing, handwritten text in an unknown script, accompanied by bizarre illustrations of plants, astronomical diagrams, and human figures in strange, ritualistic poses. Despite countless attempts to decode its language, the manuscript remains undeciphered, earning its reputation as the world's most mysterious book. The text itself is written in a script unlike anything else in recorded history. Some researchers have suggested it could be a form of cipher, an invented language, or even a sophisticated hoax. The illustrations only deepen the mystery. Botanical drawings depict plants that don't match any known species, while celestial charts show constellations that don't align with any recognized astronomical system. These peculiar details have fueled endless speculation about the manuscript's origins and purpose. Could it be a medieval herbal guide, an alchemical text, or perhaps something even more extraordinary? Over the years, numerous theories have emerged. Some argue it was created by the 15th century polymath Roger Bacon as a coded scientific treatise. Others believe it might be the work of a secretive medieval sect, using the manuscript to preserve forbidden knowledge. More fringe theories propose it could be an alien artifact or a glimpse into an alternate reality. Even modern computational analysis using advanced algorithms and artificial intelligence has failed to crack its code. Each new attempt to decode the Voynich Manuscript seems to raise more questions than answers, leaving its secrets tantalizingly out of reach. What makes this manuscript so enduringly fascinating is not just its undecipherable text, but the sheer persistence of human curiosity. For centuries, people have been drawn to its pages, driven by the desire to uncover its hidden meaning. It stands as a testament to the limits of our understanding and the allure of the unknown. As we continue to grapple with this ancient enigma, the Voynich Manuscript reminds us that some mysteries, no matter how advanced our tools, may remain unsolved. And perhaps that's exactly what keeps us coming back for more. But how did the ancient Egyptians manage to build something so precise, so monumental, without the technology we take for granted today? The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a testament to human ingenuity. Its massive limestone blocks cut and placed with such accuracy that even modern engineers marvel at its construction. Theories abound about how this was achieved. Some suggest ramps spiraling around the structure, while others propose intricate pulley systems or even the use of water channels to transport materials. Yet, despite centuries of study, no single explanation fully accounts for the sheer scale and precision of this ancient wonder. And then there's the question of purpose. Was the Great Pyramid simply a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, as many believe, or did it serve a more complex role, perhaps as an astronomical observatory aligned with celestial bodies? Some researchers point to the pyramid's alignment with true north, a feat that would have required advanced knowledge of the stars. Others speculate it could have been a symbol of divine power or even a repository of ancient wisdom. The truth remains shrouded in mystery, leaving us to ponder what secrets these towering stones might still hold. The Great Pyramid is just one example of the countless engineering marvels left behind by ancient civilizations. From the precision of its construction to the enigma of its purpose, it challenges our understanding of what humanity was capable of thousands of years ago. And as we move forward, we'll explore more of these mysteries, each one a reminder of how much we still have to learn about the ingenuity of our ancestors. Deep in the lush jungles of Costa Rica, scattered across the Diquis Delta, lie hundreds of stone spheres so perfectly round that they defy easy explanation. These enigmatic artifacts, some as small as a basketball and others towering over 6 feet tall, have puzzled archaeologists and historians for decades. How were these massive spheres crafted with such precision, and what purpose did they serve? The answers remain as mysterious as the spheres themselves. The stones, made from a hard volcanic rock called granodiorite, are nearly flawless in their spherical shape, with some showing variations of less than 2 centimeters in diameter. This level of precision is astonishing, especially when you consider that the spheres are believed to date back to a period between 300 and 1500 years ago. Without modern tools or technology, how did the ancient inhabitants of this region achieve such mastery over stone? Some researchers suggest they used a combination of hammering, heating, and cooling techniques to shape the rock, while others propose the use of wooden frames or even a form of lathe. Yet, no definitive evidence has been found to confirm these theories. The purpose of the spheres is equally elusive. Some believe they were used as astronomical tools, aligned to track celestial events like solstices or equinoxes. Others argue they served as markers for important sites, perhaps indicating boundaries or sacred spaces. There's also the intriguing theory that they were symbols of power, created by local chiefs to demonstrate their authority or wealth. Imagine the awe these massive, perfectly round stones would have inspired in anyone who saw them, a clear statement of the skill and ambition of their creators. What makes the stone spheres of Costa Rica even more fascinating is that they aren't an isolated phenomenon. Similar artifacts have been found in other parts of the world, from the remote islands of the Pacific to the highlands of Mexico. Could these spheres be part of a larger, interconnected pattern of ancient craftsmanship and symbolism? Or are they simply a remarkable example of human ingenuity repeating itself across time and space? Whatever the case, these mysterious stones remind us that the ancient world was far more complex and interconnected than we often assume. As we explore these enigmatic artifacts, it's hard not to wonder what secrets they still hold. Were they tools, symbols, or something else entirely? And what can they tell us about the people who created them, their beliefs, their ambitions, and their understanding of the world around them? The stone spheres of Costa Rica are more than just a curiosity. They're a window into a past that continues to challenge and inspire us, urging us to look deeper into the mysteries left behind by those who came before. Among the many puzzling artifacts left behind by ancient civilizations, few are as intriguing or as controversial as the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in the 1930s near the outskirts of modern-day Iraq, this curious object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all carefully sealed with an asphalt-like substance. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary relic, but when you piece it together, something extraordinary emerges. This ancient device, believed to date back to the Parthian or Sasanian period, around 2,000 years ago, appears to have functioned much like a primitive battery, capable of generating a small electric charge. The theory that these jars could produce electricity was first proposed in the 1940s, sparking heated debates among historians and scientists. When filled with an acidic or alkaline solution, such as vinegar or lemon juice, the Baghdad Battery could create a voltage of around 1 to 2 volts, enough to power a small light bulb or, more intriguingly, to electroplate objects. Electroplating, the process of coating one metal with another using an electric current, was a technique known in ancient times, particularly for gilding jewelry or other ceremonial items. Could this have been the purpose of the Baghdad Battery? Some experts argue yes, pointing to evidence of gilded artifacts from the same era that might have been crafted using this method. But not everyone is convinced. Skeptics suggest that the jars could have served a more mundane purpose, such as storing scrolls or holding sacred liquids for religious ceremonies. After all, the ancient world was filled with objects whose true purposes remain shrouded in mystery. Others propose that even if the jars were capable of producing electricity, their creators might not have fully understood the principles behind it. Imagine stumbling upon a phenomenon like electricity without the scientific framework to explain it. Might it have been seen as magical or divine? What makes the Baghdad Battery so fascinating is not just its potential function, but what it reveals about the ingenuity of ancient societies. If these jars were indeed early batteries, they challenge our assumptions about the timeline of human scientific discovery. We often think of electricity as a modern invention, tied to figures like Benjamin Franklin or Alessandro Volta, but the Baghdad Battery suggests that the roots of this knowledge might stretch much further back in time. It forces us to reconsider what ancient civilizations were capable of and how much of their knowledge has been lost to history. This mystery also raises deeper questions about how we interpret the past. Are we quick to dismiss ancient technologies because they don't fit neatly into our historical narratives? Or do we sometimes project modern ideas onto artifacts, seeing what we want to see? The Baghdad Battery sits at the intersection of these debates, a tantalizing clue that reminds us how much we still have to learn about the world's oldest civilizations. As we continue to uncover the secrets of the ancient world, artifacts like the Baghdad Battery remind us that history is far more complex and far more surprising than we often assume. What other forgotten technologies might still lie buried, waiting to be rediscovered? And what might they tell us about the people who came before us and the knowledge they possessed? The Moai of Easter Island stand as some of the most iconic and enigmatic relics of the ancient world. Towering over the island's landscape, these massive stone statues, some weighing up to 80 tons, have puzzled archaeologists and historians for centuries. How did a society without modern technology or heavy machinery manage to carve, transport, and erect these colossal figures? The mystery of the Moai is as much about their creation as it is about the people who built them. One of the most enduring questions is how the Rapa Nui, the island's inhabitants, moved these statues from the quarries where they were carved to their final locations, often miles away. Some theories suggest they were transported horizontally on wooden sledges or rollers, while others propose they were walked upright by teams of people using ropes to rock them into place. Each theory offers a glimpse into the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Rapa Nui, but the exact method remains a topic of heated debate. The purpose of the Moai is equally fascinating. Many believe they served as representations of ancestors, acting as spiritual guardians for the living. Others argue they were markers for freshwater sources or other vital resources, given the island's challenging environment. What's undeniable is that these statues were central to the Rapa Nui culture, embodying their beliefs, traditions, and connection to the land. Despite the challenges of their creation, the Moai stand as a testament to the determination and creativity of ancient civilizations. They remind us that even in the face of limited resources, human ingenuity can achieve the extraordinary. As we explore the mysteries of Easter Island, we're left with a profound appreciation for the Rapa Nui and their ability to leave a lasting legacy that continues to captivate us today. Moving from the enigmatic to the astonishing, we now turn our attention to the Piri Reis Map, a document that has baffled historians, cartographers, and adventurers alike. Created in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, this map is not just a relic of the past but a puzzle that challenges our understanding of ancient exploration. What makes it so extraordinary? It appears to depict the coastline of Antarctica, a continent that wouldn't be officially discovered for another 300 years. And here's the kicker, the map shows Antarctica without its ice cover, a detail that has sparked endless debate and speculation. How could a 16th century mapmaker have known about a landmass hidden beneath miles of ice? Some argue that Piri Reis had access to ancient sources, possibly maps from civilizations far older than his own, which preserved knowledge of the world's geography long before the modern era. Others suggest that the map's accuracy might be a coincidence or an artistic interpretation rather than a precise depiction. but the level of detail in certain areas, particularly the coastline of South America, has been noted for its remarkable precision, adding fuel to the mystery. Theories abound about the origins of this map. Could it be evidence of a lost civilization with advanced knowledge of the Earth's geography? Or perhaps it's a testament to the interconnectedness of ancient cultures, sharing knowledge across vast distances and time. While we may never know for certain, one thing is clear: the Piri Reis Map raises profound questions about what our ancestors knew and when they knew it. This map doesn't just challenge our understanding of cartography, it invites us to reconsider the scope of ancient exploration. Were there seafarers or explorers who ventured far beyond what history has recorded? Could there have been a global exchange of knowledge long before the age of European exploration? The Piri Reis Map doesn't just chart coastlines, it charts the boundaries of our imagination, pushing us to think bigger about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. As we ponder these questions, we're reminded that history is often far more complex and mysterious than we give it credit for. And with that, we move to our next mystery, where the boundaries of the known world stretch even further into the realm of the extraordinary. In the heart of China, buried beneath the earth for over 2,000 years, lies one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries of all time, the Terracotta Army. This vast collection of life-sized clay soldiers, horses, and chariots was unearthed in the 1970s near the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor. But what was the purpose of this silent army, and what secrets do they hold about the ancient world? Crafted with astonishing precision, each soldier is unique, with distinct facial features, hairstyles, and even expressions. Some stand tall with shields, while others kneel with bows at the ready, as if frozen in time, waiting for a battle that would never come. The level of detail is breathtaking. Armor plates are meticulously carved, and even the tread on the soles of their shoes is visible. This wasn't just an army, it was a masterpiece of ancient engineering and artistry. But why were they created? Historians believe the Terracotta Army was meant to protect Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. The emperor, obsessed with immortality, wanted an eternal guard to accompany him into the next world. Yet, the sheer scale of the project raises questions. How did ancient craftsmen produce such an army? Estimates suggest over 700,000 workers labored for decades to create these figures, using techniques that were far ahead of their time. Each soldier was molded in sections, fired in kilns, and then assembled piece by piece, a process that required not only skill but also an extraordinary level of organization. But the mysteries don't end there. Why were the soldiers originally painted in vibrant colors that have since faded? What tools and methods allowed such uniformity in their creation? And perhaps most intriguingly, what lies beneath the tomb itself, which remains largely unexcavated due to fears of damaging what might be inside? The Terracotta Army is more than a funerary display. It's a window into the ambition, ingenuity, and beliefs of an ancient civilization. This incredible find also highlights the broader practices of ancient funerary traditions. From the pyramids of Egypt to the burial mounds of the Scythians, humans have long gone to extraordinary lengths to honor their dead. The Terracotta Army is just one example of how these practices reflect the values, fears, and aspirations of the cultures that created them. And as we continue to uncover the secrets of the past, each discovery reminds us of the enduring human desire to leave a lasting legacy. Hidden deep within the Zhejiang province of China lies one of the most baffling enigmas of the ancient world, the Longyu Caves. Discovered in 1992 by a curious villager draining a local pond, these sprawling underground chambers are nothing short of extraordinary. Carved entirely by hand, the caves stretch across a staggering 30,000 square meters, with walls, ceilings, and pillars displaying an almost impossible level of precision. Each surface is adorned with intricate patterns of parallel chisel marks, creating a mesmerizing symmetry that defies the tools and technology believed to be available at the time of their creation. What makes the Longyu Caves even more mysterious is the complete absence of any historical records mentioning them. No ancient texts, no local legends, not even a single whisper in folklore hints at their existence or purpose. Who built these caves? Why were they constructed with such meticulous care? And how did an ancient society manage to carve out such a vast network of chambers without leaving a trace of their work in the historical record? These questions remain unanswered, leaving historians and archaeologists to piece together clues from the caves themselves. The sheer scale of the project suggests a highly organized and resourceful society, yet the lack of evidence surrounding their construction has led to numerous theories. Some speculate that the caves served as secret military bunkers or storage facilities, while others believe they were ceremonial spaces or even ancient mining operations. The precision of the chisel marks and the uniformity of the designs, however, hint at a purpose that goes beyond mere utility. Could these caves have been a place of worship, a hidden sanctuary, or perhaps even an ancient astronomical observatory? Adding to the mystery is the fact that the caves were flooded for centuries before their discovery, raising questions about how they were used and why they were abandoned. The waterlogged environment preserved the caves in remarkable condition, but it also erased any potential traces of tools, artifacts, or human activity that might have provided answers. Today, the Longyu Caves stand as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of their creators, whoever they may have been. What's particularly striking about these caves is the level of engineering sophistication they display. The walls are carved at precise angles, ensuring structural stability, while the pillars are evenly spaced to support the immense weight of the rock above. This level of planning and execution suggests a deep understanding of both architecture and geology, far beyond what we typically associate with ancient civilizations. It's as if the builders had a blueprint in mind, one that has been lost to time. The Longyu Caves are a hidden marvel of ancient engineering, a silent witness to a forgotten chapter of human history. As we stand in their shadow, we're left to wonder, what secrets do they still hold? What stories could they tell if only the walls could speak? For now, they remain one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world, a reminder of how much we have yet to uncover about the ingenuity and ambition of those who came before us. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, the ancient fortress of Sacsayhuaman stands as a marvel of precision and engineering. Its massive stone walls, constructed from blocks weighing up to 200 tons, are fitted together so seamlessly that not even a blade of grass can slip between them. The precision is staggering, especially when you consider these stones were cut and placed without the use of modern tools or machinery. How did the ancient builders achieve such perfection? And what was the purpose of this colossal structure? Some researchers believe Sacsayhuaman served as a military fortress, its towering walls designed to protect the Inca capital of Cusco from invasion. Others argue it was a ceremonial site, a place of worship and ritual, given its alignment with celestial events like the solstices. Then there are those who point to the sheer complexity of its construction, suggesting that the walls might represent knowledge or technology far beyond what we typically attribute to the Inca civilization. Could they have inherited techniques from an even older, lost culture? The truth remains shrouded in mystery. What makes Sacsayhuaman particularly fascinating is the way these stones were shaped. The blocks aren't uniform rectangles. Instead, they feature irregular, jagged edges that somehow interlock perfectly with their neighbors. This technique, known as polygonal masonry, required an incredible understanding of geometry and physics. Some speculate that the builders used a combination of trial and error, advanced mathematics, and perhaps even a form of sound or vibration technology to achieve such precision. Theories abound, but one thing is certain: the walls of Sacsayhuaman are a testament to the ingenuity and skill of ancient architects. Whether they were warriors, priests, or master builders, the people who created this site left behind a legacy that continues to baffle and inspire. As we stand before these colossal stones, we're reminded of the extraordinary capabilities of those who came before us, capabilities that challenge our understanding of history and push us to rethink what ancient civilizations were truly capable of. Nestled in the rugged hills of southeastern Turkey lies an archaeological marvel that has turned the story of human history on its head: Göbekli Tepe. This ancient temple complex, dating back to around 9600 BCE, predates Stonehenge by a staggering 6,000 years. To put that into perspective, when Göbekli Tepe was built, humanity was still in the Stone Age, living as hunter-gatherers. Yet, here we find an elaborate structure adorned with intricate carvings of animals and mysterious symbols, crafted with a level of sophistication that defies everything we thought we knew about early human societies. Göbekli Tepe isn't just a collection of stones, it's a profound statement about the capabilities of our ancestors. The site consists of massive T-shaped pillars, some weighing several tons, arranged in circular patterns. These pillars are not just functional, they're artistic, covered in finely detailed reliefs of foxes, lions, and birds, suggesting a deep symbolic or spiritual significance. What's even more astonishing is that this complex was not a settlement. There's no evidence of permanent dwellings, no signs of agriculture or domesticated animals. This was a place of ritual, a sacred space built by people who, according to traditional timelines, shouldn't have had the time, resources, or organizational skills to create something so monumental. The implications of Göbekli Tepe are nothing short of revolutionary. For decades, the prevailing theory was that the rise of agriculture and permanent settlements led to the development of complex societies and organized religion. But Göbekli Tepe flips this narrative. Here, it seems that religion and communal effort came first, potentially driving the transition to settled life rather than the other way around. Could it be that the human need to connect with the divine or the unknown was the catalyst for civilization as we know it? This site also raises tantalizing questions about the people who built it. Who were they? How did they coordinate such a massive project without the tools or technology we associate with later civilizations? And perhaps most intriguingly, why did they bury the entire complex around 8000 BCE, deliberately covering it with earth as if to preserve it for future generations or to hide it from something? Göbekli Tepe doesn't just challenge our understanding of early human societies. It forces us to rethink the very nature of progress and innovation. It's a humbling reminder that the past is far more complex and mysterious than we often assume. As we continue to uncover its secrets, one thing is certain: this ancient temple is rewriting the story of humanity, one stone at a time. The Dead Sea Scrolls, unearthed in the mid-20th century within the Qumran Caves near the Dead Sea, remain one of the most extraordinary archaeological discoveries of all time. These ancient manuscripts, dating back over 2,000 years, include fragments of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, along with other religious texts and writings. Their preservation in the arid climate of the Judean desert allowed them to survive the passage of centuries, offering us a rare and invaluable window into the beliefs, rituals, and daily lives of ancient Jewish communities. But what makes the Dead Sea Scrolls so significant? For one, they contain some of the oldest known copies of biblical texts, predating other versions by hundreds of years. This has allowed scholars to compare these ancient manuscripts with later copies, shedding light on how these sacred texts evolved over time. The scrolls also include non-biblical writings, commentaries, hymns, and even community rules that provide a fascinating glimpse into the religious and social practices of a group often associated with the Essenes, a Jewish sect believed to have lived in the region during the Second Temple period. Yet, despite decades of study, the authorship of the Dead Sea Scrolls remains shrouded in mystery. Were they written by the Essenes, as many scholars believe, or do they represent the work of multiple groups? The texts themselves offer no clear answer, and the absence of definitive historical records leaves us with more questions than answers. Some researchers even suggest that the scrolls may have been hidden in the caves during a time of crisis, perhaps as the Roman Empire expanded its reach into the region. Could these manuscripts have been part of a larger effort to preserve sacred knowledge in the face of impending destruction? What's undeniable is the profound impact the Dead Sea Scrolls have had on our understanding of ancient religious practices. They reveal a world where scripture was not yet fixed, where interpretations and traditions were still evolving. The scrolls also highlight the diversity of thought within early Judaism, challenging the notion of a single, unified religious identity. For historians and theologians alike, these texts are a treasure trove of insights, offering a tangible connection to the spiritual lives of people who lived millennia ago. As we ponder the mysteries of the Dead Sea Scrolls, who wrote them, why they were hidden, and what they truly mean, we're reminded of how much we still have to learn about the ancient world. These fragile fragments of parchment, preserved by chance and time, continue to inspire awe and curiosity, inviting us to explore the beliefs and struggles of those who came before us. And as we delve deeper into their secrets, we uncover not just the past, but the enduring power of faith and the written word. Nestled in the lush countryside of Brittany, France, the Carnac Stones stand as one of the most enigmatic ancient sites in the world. Over 3,000 massive stones stretch across the landscape, arranged in long, precise rows that seem to stretch endlessly toward the horizon. These megaliths, some towering over 20 feet high, were placed here thousands of years ago by a civilization that left no written records, only their silent, stoic stones as clues to their purpose. What drove these ancient people to move and arrange such colossal rocks with such precision? And what message, if any, were they trying to convey to future generations? Theories about the Carnac stones are as varied as the stones themselves. Some researchers believe they served as a massive astronomical calendar, aligned with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. Certain rows appear to correspond with solstices and equinoxes, suggesting that the stones might have been used to track the seasons, a vital tool for an agricultural society. Others propose a more spiritual purpose, speculating that the stones were part of sacred rituals or ceremonies, perhaps even markers for burial sites or pathways for the dead. The sheer scale of the site hints at a deep cultural significance, one that might have united communities in a shared spiritual or practical endeavor. But the Carnac stones are not alone in their mystery. They are part of a much larger tradition of megalithic monuments scattered across Europe, from the iconic Stonehenge in England to the haunting dolmens of Ireland. These sites, separated by vast distances and centuries, share striking similarities in their construction and purpose, hinting at a shared knowledge or belief system that transcended borders and time. Could the Carnac stones be a piece of this ancient puzzle, a link to a forgotten world where people communicated through stone rather than words? As we stand before these towering monuments, we're left with more questions than answers. Were they meant to guide the living, honor the dead, or connect humanity to the cosmos? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, a blend of practicality and spirituality that we're only beginning to unravel. The Carnac stones remind us that the ancient world was far more interconnected and far more sophisticated than we often give it credit for, And as we move forward, these silent sentinels continue to challenge us to look deeper, to question what we think we know, and to marvel at the ingenuity of those who came before us. The Shroud of Turin is one of the most controversial and fascinating relics in human history. This ancient linen cloth, measuring approximately 14 feet long and 3.5 feet wide, is said to bear the faint imprint of a crucified man, a figure many believe to be Jesus Christ. For centuries, it has been at the center of intense debate, drawing both devout believers and skeptical scientists into its enigmatic story. The shroud first gained widespread attention in the 14th century when it appeared in France, but its origins remain shrouded in mystery, pun intended. What makes this artifact so compelling is not just its religious significance but the extraordinary detail of the image it carries. The figure on the cloth appears to show wounds consistent with crucifixion, including a crown of thorns, nail marks in the wrists and feet, and a spear wound in the side. These details have led many to view the shroud as a tangible connection to one of history's most pivotal moments. But is it real? That's the question that has sparked decades of scientific investigation. In the late 1970s, a team of researchers was granted unprecedented access to the shroud, conducting a series of tests to determine its authenticity. Radiocarbon dating in the 1980s suggested the cloth originated in the medieval period, around the 13th or 14th century. This finding seemed to debunk the idea that the shroud could be 2,000 years old. However, critics of the study argue that contamination or repairs to the fabric could have skewed the results. Adding to the intrigue, other studies have uncovered puzzling details. For instance, the image on the shroud isn't painted or dyed. It's a faint discoloration of the linen fibers themselves, with no known method of replication that matches its complexity. Some researchers have even proposed that the image was created by a burst of energy, though this theory remains speculative. The Shroud of Turin continues to be a subject of fascination because it sits at the intersection of history, science, and faith. For believers, it's a sacred relic that offers a glimpse into the divine. For scientists, it's a puzzle that challenges our understanding of ancient materials and methods. And for historians, it's a testament to how artifacts can shape our perception of the past. Whether it's a medieval forgery or a genuine artifact from the time of Christ, the shroud invites us to explore the boundaries between what we can prove and what we choose to believe. This blend of mystery and meaning makes the Shroud of Turin a perfect example of how the ancient world continues to captivate us, bridging the gap between the tangible and the transcendent. Among the many enigmatic artifacts discovered in the caves near the Dead Sea, one stands out as a tantalizing puzzle: the Copper Scroll. Found among the famous Dead Sea Scrolls in the mid-20th century, this ancient document is unlike any other. While most of the Dead Sea Scrolls contain religious texts or historical records, the Copper Scroll is essentially a treasure map. Etched onto thin sheets of copper, it lists dozens of locations where vast quantities of gold, silver, and other precious items are said to be hidden. The scroll describes caches of treasure scattered across the Judean desert and beyond, with instructions so precise that they seem almost within reach. But here's the catch: no one has ever found a single piece of the treasure it describes. The Copper Scroll dates back to around the 1st century, during a time of great turmoil in the region. Some scholars believe the treasures it mentions could have been part of the wealth of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, hidden away to protect it from Roman invaders. Others suggest it might be a record of community funds or even a hoax designed to mislead. The scroll's language is cryptic, filled with references to landmarks and measurements that no longer match the modern landscape. This has led to countless expeditions over the decades, with treasure hunters and archaeologists alike scouring the desert in search of these ancient riches. Yet, despite their efforts, the treasures remain elusive. What makes the Copper Scroll even more intriguing is the material it's made of. Unlike the other Dead Sea Scrolls, which were written on parchment or papyrus, this one was inscribed on copper, a costly and durable material that suggests the information it contains was meant to last. But why go to such lengths to preserve a list of hidden treasures? Was it a practical guide for future generations, or was it something more symbolic? Some theories propose that the treasures never existed in a physical sense, but rather represent spiritual or metaphorical wealth. Others argue that the scroll's creators simply didn't want the treasure falling into the wrong hands, which is why they went to such great lengths to encode its message. The attempts to decode and locate the treasures have been as varied as the theories themselves. Early efforts relied heavily on the scroll's text, but as time went on, modern technology was brought into the mix. Ground-penetrating radar, satellite imaging, and even drones have been used to scour the desert for clues. Yet, the landscape has changed dramatically over 2 millennia, with erosion, earthquakes, and human activity altering the terrain. What was once a clear landmark might now be buried under layers of sand or rubble, making the search even more challenging. The copper scroll adds a sense of adventure to the study of ancient history, blending the allure of hidden treasure with the intellectual challenge of deciphering an ancient text. It's a reminder that the past is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and that sometimes the journey to solve them is just as compelling as the solution itself. Whether the treasures it describes are real or symbolic, the copper scroll continues to captivate the imagination, inviting us to explore the boundaries between history, legend, and the unknown. Nestled in the lush landscapes of Laos lies one of the most intriguing archaeological enigmas of Southeast Asia, the Plain of Jars, stretching across the Xiang Quang Plateau. This mysterious site is home to thousands of massive stone jars, some weighing several tons, scattered in clusters across the terrain. These enigmatic vessels, carved from solid rock, range in size from small enough to hold a child to large enough to accommodate an adult. But who created them and for what purpose? To this day, the Plain of Jars remains a riddle that continues to baffle archaeologists and historians alike. Theories about the jars' purpose are as varied as they are fascinating. Some researchers suggest they were used in ancient burial practices, serving as urns to hold human remains. Excavations have uncovered human bones, pottery fragments, and other artifacts near the jars, lending some credibility to this idea. Others propose that the jars might have been used for storing food or water, perhaps as part of a trade network or during times of scarcity. There's even a theory that they were used to ferment rice wine, a staple in the region's culture. Yet, despite these compelling ideas, no single explanation has been universally accepted, leaving the true purpose of the jars shrouded in mystery. Adding to the intrigue is the question of who created these massive stone vessels. The jars are believed to date back to the Iron Age, somewhere between 500 BCE and 500 CE, but the identity of their makers remains unknown. Some speculate that they were crafted by an ancient civilization that thrived in the region, while others suggest they might be linked to the Mon Khmer people, an early cultural group in Southeast Asia. The lack of written records or definitive archaeological evidence only deepens the mystery, making the Plain of Jars a tantalizing puzzle for researchers. What's particularly striking about this site is that it's not just a single mystery but part of a much larger archaeological tapestry. The jars are scattered across dozens of sites, each with its own unique characteristics and questions. Why were they placed in such specific clusters? How were they transported across the rugged terrain? And what role did they play in the lives of the people who created them? Each unanswered question adds another layer to the enigma, making the Plain of Jars a captivating piece of the ancient world's unsolved puzzle. As we ponder the mysteries of these ancient stone jars, it's impossible not to marvel at the ingenuity and effort required to create them. Their silent presence on the Laotian landscape serves as a reminder of how much we still have to learn about the civilizations that came before us. And just as the Plain of Jars invites us to explore its secrets, it also connects us to a broader web of archaeological mysteries waiting to be unraveled. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, a name that conjures images of lush greenery cascading from towering terraces, a paradise suspended in the desert. Described as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, these gardens have captivated imaginations for centuries. But did they ever truly exist? The mystery of the Hanging Gardens is as much about their location and construction as it is about the blending of myth and history. Ancient texts, particularly those written by Greek historians like Strabo and Diodorus Siculus, paint a vivid picture of the gardens. They describe an elaborate structure built by King Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, Queen Amytis, who longed for the green hills of her homeland. The gardens were said to rise in tiers, supported by massive stone columns, with plants and trees irrigated by a complex system of pumps and aqueducts. It's a story that feels almost too grand to be real, and that's where the debate begins. Despite the detailed descriptions, there's no physical evidence of the gardens in Babylon itself. Excavations at the site, located in modern-day Iraq, have uncovered remnants of the ancient city's walls and palaces, but nothing definitively linked to the gardens. This absence has led some scholars to question whether the gardens were purely a work of fiction, a poetic embellishment by ancient writers. Others, however, argue that the gardens might have existed elsewhere, perhaps in Nineveh, under the Assyrian king Sennacherib, whose own inscriptions describe elaborate water systems and gardens that sound strikingly similar to the Hanging Gardens. Theories about their construction are equally fascinating. Some suggest that the gardens relied on an advanced hydraulic system, using a chain pump or screw-like device to lift water from the Euphrates River to the highest terraces. Others propose that the gardens were built using a combination of baked brick and bitumen, materials that would have been durable enough to support the weight of the structure. Yet without concrete evidence, these ideas remain speculative. What makes the Hanging Gardens so compelling is how they sit at the intersection of myth and reality. They remind us that ancient wonders often exist not just in stone and soil, but in the stories we tell about them. Whether real or imagined, the gardens symbolize humanity's enduring desire to create beauty and defy the limits of nature. And as we continue to search for answers, the mystery of the Hanging Gardens invites us to explore not just the past, but the power of storytelling itself. This blend of myth and history isn't unique to the gardens. It's a theme that echoes throughout many of the ancient world's greatest mysteries. As we move forward, we'll see how this interplay between fact and fiction shapes our understanding of the past and why these stories continue to fascinate us today. Deep in the lush jungles of ancient Mexico, a civilization known as the Olmecs left behind one of the most striking and enigmatic legacies in the history of the Americas, the colossal stone heads. Carved from single blocks of basalt, these towering sculptures, some weighing as much as 50 tons, stand as silent sentinels of a culture that thrived over 3,000 years ago. But who were the Olmecs, and why did they dedicate such immense effort to create these monumental works of art? The Olmec civilization, often referred to as the mother culture of Mesoamerica, flourished between roughly 1,200 and 400 BC. While much about their society remains shrouded in mystery, the colossal heads are perhaps their most iconic and enduring contribution. These imposing sculptures, each depicting a unique individual with distinct facial features, have sparked endless speculation about their purpose. Were they portraits of powerful rulers, revered ancestors, or perhaps deities? The truth is, no one knows for certain. The Olmecs left no written records to explain their motivations, leaving us to piece together clues from the artifacts they left behind. But the mystery deepens when we consider how these massive heads were created and transported. The basalt used to carve them was sourced from quarries located dozens of miles away, often in rugged, inaccessible terrain. Without the wheel or draft animals, how did the Olmecs move these enormous stones? Some theories suggest they used log rollers or rafts along rivers, while others propose a combination of brute strength and ingenious engineering. Yet, despite these possibilities, the sheer scale of the task remains astonishing, a testament to the Olmec's skill, determination, and perhaps their spiritual devotion. What makes the colossal heads even more fascinating is their artistry. Each one is meticulously crafted with intricate details that bring the faces to life. From the subtly curved lips to the expressive eyes, these sculptures convey a sense of individuality and personality that feels almost modern. They are not just stone monuments, they are masterpieces that bridge the gap between the ancient and the eternal. As we stand before these enigmatic giants, we are reminded of the Olmec's profound connection to their world, a world where art, power, and mystery intertwined. The colossal heads are more than just relics of a bygone era. They are symbols of human ingenuity and the enduring power of creativity. And as we continue to unravel their secrets, we are drawn deeper into the rich tapestry of the ancient world, where every discovery brings us closer to understanding the people who came before us. The Great Sphinx of Giza, standing proudly on the Giza Plateau, has captivated humanity for thousands of years. But one of its most enduring mysteries isn't what it shows, it's what's missing. The Sphinx's nose, a feature that once defined its majestic face, is nowhere to be seen. How did this iconic monument lose such a prominent part of its visage? Theories abound, ranging from the forces of nature to the hands of humans. One popular belief points to natural erosion. Over millennia, wind, sand, and weather could have worn away the softer limestone of the nose, leaving the Sphinx with its distinctive, enigmatic expression. Yet, others argue that the damage is too precise for nature alone. Could it have been deliberate? Some historians suggest that the nose was intentionally destroyed, perhaps by a ruler seeking to erase a symbol of power, or by religious zealots aiming to dismantle a pagan icon. One persistent legend even claims that Napoleon's troops shot off the nose during their campaign in Egypt, though historical records prove the nose was missing long before Napoleon's arrival. The Sphinx's missing nose isn't just a physical mystery, it's a cultural one. As a guardian of the Giza Plateau, the Sphinx has long been a symbol of strength, wisdom, and mystery. Its damaged face only adds to its mystique, inviting us to ponder its past and the hands or forces that shaped its current form. Was it an act of reverence, rebellion, or simply time's relentless march? The answer remains hidden, much like the secrets the Sphinx itself seems to protect. Even today, as the Sphinx gazes out across the desert, it continues to guard its mysteries. Its missing nose is a reminder that some questions, no matter how long we search, may never be fully answered. And perhaps that's part of its enduring allure, a monument that keeps us wondering, keeps us searching, and keeps us connected to the ancient world in ways we can't quite explain. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most baffling artifacts ever discovered, the Baghdad Battery. This small, unassuming clay jar, found in Iraq and dating back to around 200 BC, has sparked endless debate among historians and scientists. At first glance, it looks like a simple pot, but inside lies a copper cylinder and an iron rod, separated by an asphalt plug. When filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, this setup has the potential to generate a small electric current. But here's the million-dollar question: what was it really used for? While some believe it could have been an early form of a battery, others propose fascinating alternative theories. One idea suggests it might have been used in ancient medical treatments, possibly for pain relief or even electrotherapy. Imagine ancient healers using this device to treat ailments, harnessing a primitive form of electricity long before modern science understood its principles. Another theory points to its use in spiritual or religious rituals. Could it have been a tool to create small shocks, perhaps to awe worshippers or symbolize divine power? The possibilities are as intriguing as they are endless. What makes the Baghdad Battery so compelling is what it reveals about the ingenuity of ancient civilizations. If it truly functioned as a battery, it would mean that humans were experimenting with electricity over 2,000 years ago, centuries before figures like Benjamin Franklin or Alessandro Volta came onto the scene. This raises a profound question: how much knowledge have we lost over time? The Baghdad Battery serves as a humbling reminder that the past is full of mysteries we've yet to unravel, and that ancient people may have been far more advanced than we often give them credit for. As we ponder the Baghdad Battery, it's hard not to feel a sense of wonder at the unknown. What other secrets might lie buried beneath the sands of time, waiting to be discovered? This ancient artifact doesn't just challenge our understanding of history, it invites us to keep questioning, exploring, and marveling at the ingenuity of those who came before us. The 23rd mystery takes us to the heart of one of the ancient world's most tragic losses, the legendary Library of Alexandria. Imagine a treasure trove of knowledge so vast that it was said to contain the collective wisdom of the ancient world. Scholars from across the globe flocked to this intellectual hub, where scrolls and texts on philosophy, science, medicine, and literature were meticulously preserved. But the library's fate remains shrouded in mystery, its destruction a blow to human progress that still echoes today. What exactly happened to the Library of Alexandria? The truth is, no one knows for certain. Some accounts point to Julius Caesar's siege of Alexandria in 48 BC, when a fire reportedly spread to the library, consuming countless irreplaceable works. Others suggest it met its end during later conflicts, such as the Roman Emperor Aurelian's campaigns in the 3rd century CE, or even during the rise of Christianity in the 4th century. Each theory adds another layer to the enigma, leaving us to wonder how much of our ancient heritage was lost in the flames. The impact of this loss is staggering. The library wasn't just a building, it was a beacon of enlightenment, housing works by thinkers like Aristotle, Euclid, and Archimedes. Entire treatises on astronomy, medicine, and mathematics vanished, setting back the trajectory of human knowledge by centuries. What might we have achieved if those texts had survived? How much further along would science, philosophy, and culture be today? Yet, in the face of such loss, there's a glimmer of hope. Modern scholars and archaeologists are tirelessly working to piece together fragments of the library's legacy. From deciphering surviving texts to uncovering clues in ancient ruins, these efforts remind us of humanity's enduring quest for knowledge. The Library of Alexandria stands as a poignant symbol of how fragile history can be, a reminder that the stories we preserve today may shape the understanding of tomorrow. This mystery isn't just about what was lost, it's about the resilience of human curiosity and our unyielding desire to reclaim the past. And as we turn to the next mystery, we'll see how the echoes of ancient civilizations continue to inspire and challenge us in unexpected ways. The Phaistos Disc is one of those ancient artifacts that seems to defy explanation. A small clay disc from the island of Crete that has puzzled archaeologists, linguists, and historians for over a century. Discovered in 1908 in the ruins of the Minoan Palace of Phaistos, this disc is about 6 inches in diameter and covered on both sides with a spiral of stamped symbols. 241 symbols in total, arranged in groups, form what appears to be a deliberate pattern, a written message, but here's the catch: no one has been able to decipher it. The symbols themselves are unique, unlike anything found in other ancient scripts. Some resemble objects or figures: a running man, a fish, a bird, while others are abstract shapes. This has led to endless speculation about the disc's purpose. Was it a religious text, a piece of ancient poetry, or perhaps an early form of accounting or administrative record? The truth is, we simply don't know. What makes the Phaistos Disc so fascinating is that it stands alone. No other artifact from the same time period or region bears these symbols, making it impossible to compare or cross-reference. It's as if someone created this mysterious object and then took its secret to the grave. Decoding the disc has proven to be a monumental challenge. Linguists have tried to match the symbols to known languages, but without a bilingual text or a Rosetta Stone equivalent, progress has been slow. Some researchers argue that the symbols represent syllables or sounds, while others believe they might be ideograms, symbols that convey ideas or concepts rather than specific words. Then there's the possibility that the disc isn't a written language at all, but something else entirely, like a calendar or a game board. The lack of context only adds to the mystery. What's equally intriguing is the method used to create the disc. The symbols weren't carved or painted. They were stamped into the clay using pre-made seals. This suggests a level of sophistication, perhaps even a form of early printing. But who made it and why? Some theories point to the disc being a ceremonial object, while others suggest it might have been a personal possession of someone of high status. The truth is, every theory has its holes, and the disc remains stubbornly silent. The Phaistos Disc is more than just an unsolved puzzle. It's a window into a lost world. It reminds us how much we still don't know about ancient civilizations, and how even the smallest artifact can hold secrets that resist the passage of time. For now, this enigmatic clay disc remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world, a tantalizing clue to a story we may never fully understand. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic and enduring enigmas of the ancient world, the Stonehenge bluestones. These massive stones, weighing up to 4 tons each, were transported over 150 miles from the Preseli Hills in Wales to their final resting place in Salisbury Plain, England. The question that has baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries is simple yet profound: how did ancient peoples, without the benefit of modern technology, achieve such a monumental feat? Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. Some suggest that the stones were transported by water, floated along rivers and coastal routes on rafts. Others propose that they were dragged overland using sledges, ropes, and sheer human effort. Imagine the determination it would have taken to move these massive stones across rough terrain, through forests, and over rivers. It's a staggering testament to the ingenuity and perseverance of our ancestors. But the mystery doesn't end with how they got there, it extends to why. What drove these ancient builders to undertake such a colossal project? Some believe Stonehenge served as an astronomical calendar, its stones aligned with the movements of the sun and moon to mark solstices and equinoxes. Others argue it was a place of healing, where the blue stones, believed to have medicinal properties, drew pilgrims seeking cures. There's even speculation that it was a site of spiritual significance, a place where the living could connect with the divine or the dead. What's undeniable is that Stonehenge stands as a symbol of human ambition and resourcefulness. It reminds us that even thousands of years ago, people were capable of extraordinary achievements, driven by a blend of curiosity, faith, and determination. And as we continue to unravel the secrets of this ancient marvel, we're left with a profound sense of awe, not just for the structure itself, but for the people who built it. The story of Stonehenge isn't just about stones, it's about the enduring human spirit, the drive to create something lasting, something meaningful. And as we move forward, we'll explore another mystery that challenges our understanding of the past, proving once again that the ancient world still has much to teach us. Nestled in the heart of Romania, the Tartaria tablets have sparked one of the most intriguing debates in the study of ancient civilizations. These small, unassuming clay artifacts discovered in the late 19th century are etched with symbols that some researchers claim represent the earliest known form of writing, predating even the Sumerian cuneiform by thousands of years. But what makes these tablets so fascinating isn't just their age, it's the mystery that surrounds them. Are they genuine evidence of a sophisticated prehistoric culture, or are they an elaborate hoax that has fooled experts for over a century? The symbols on the Tartaria tablets are unlike anything else found from the same time period. Some resemble geometric patterns, while others appear to depict animals or abstract concepts. Proponents of their authenticity argue that these markings are not random, but instead a deliberate attempt at communication, possibly even a form of proto-writing. If true, this would rewrite the timeline of human language development, suggesting that complex symbolic communication existed far earlier than previously thought. But skeptics aren't so sure. They point to the lack of similar artifacts in the region and the possibility that the symbols could be nothing more than decorative or ritualistic in nature, rather than a true writing system. Adding to the intrigue is the context of their discovery. The tablets were found in a burial site alongside human remains and other artifacts, which some interpret as evidence of a ritualistic or ceremonial purpose. Yet, without a clear understanding of the culture that created them, it's difficult to draw definitive conclusions. This uncertainty has led to a heated debate among archaeologists, linguists, and historians. Are the Tartaria tablets a groundbreaking discovery that reshapes our understanding of early human history, or are they simply an archaeological anomaly, misunderstood or misrepresented over time? What's remarkable about this mystery is how it challenges our assumptions about the origins of writing and communication. If the Tartaria tablets are genuine, they suggest that the human impulse to record and convey complex ideas existed much earlier and in more diverse forms than we ever imagined. Even if they're not, they force us to reconsider how we define writing and what it means to communicate across time and space. These tiny clay fragments, no larger than a few inches, hold the potential to unlock a deeper understanding of our shared human past or to remind us just how much we still have to learn. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the ancient world, the Tartaria tablets stand as a testament to the enduring question: how did humanity first begin to make its mark on history? And what other secrets hidden in the soil of forgotten civilizations are waiting to be uncovered? Could an ancient civilization have unlocked the secrets of electricity thousands of years before we thought it possible? That's the tantalizing question posed by the Baghdad Battery, a mysterious artifact discovered in modern-day Iraq in the 1930s. This unassuming clay jar, roughly the size of a small vase, contains a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and traces of an acidic substance like vinegar or wine. When these components are combined, they create a simple electrochemical reaction, essentially a rudimentary battery. But what was its purpose? Some researchers suggest it might have been used in ancient alchemy, perhaps for electroplating gold onto silver, or even for medical treatments involving mild electric shocks. Others argue it could have played a role in metallurgy, assisting craftsmen in creating intricate designs or strengthening metals. What makes the Baghdad Battery so fascinating isn't just the possibility of ancient electricity, it's what it tells us about the ingenuity of the past. This artifact hints at a level of scientific understanding that challenges our assumptions about ancient societies. Were the creators of this device experimenting with concepts we'd later rediscover centuries or even millennia later? If so, it raises profound questions about how knowledge is preserved or lost over time. The Baghdad Battery stands as a symbol of innovation, a reminder that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we often give them credit for. And while its true purpose may remain a mystery, it invites us to reconsider the boundaries of human ingenuity across the ages. Nestled deep within the rugged desert landscapes of Jordan lies one of the most breathtaking wonders of the ancient world, the lost city of Petra. Carved directly into towering rose-red cliffs, this archaeological marvel has captivated explorers, historians, and travelers for centuries. But beyond its stunning beauty, Petra holds secrets that continue to puzzle experts to this day. What was the purpose of this sprawling city hidden in the rocks, and why did it vanish into obscurity, only to be rediscovered centuries later? Petra's origins trace back to the Nabateans, a nomadic Arab tribe who settled in the region around the 4th century BC. These resourceful people transformed the arid desert into a thriving hub of trade and culture. By harnessing ingenious water management systems, they created an oasis in the middle of nowhere, channeling scarce rainwater into cisterns and reservoirs that sustained their growing population. Petra became a crossroads for caravans carrying spices, silks, and incense, linking the ancient civilizations of the Mediterranean, Arabia, and Asia. At the heart of Petra stands the iconic Al-Khosne, or the Treasury, a temple-like structure carved into the cliff face with such precision and artistry that it seems almost otherworldly. Its towering facade, adorned with intricate carvings and towering columns, has become a symbol of the city's grandeur, but despite its name, the treasury's true purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Was it a royal tomb, a temple, or something else entirely? Theories abound, yet no definitive answer has emerged. Equally enigmatic is the city's sudden decline. By the 7th century CE, Petra had all but vanished from historical records. Some historians point to shifting trade routes that bypassed the city, while others suggest natural disasters or economic collapse played a role. Yet, the full story of Petra's abandonment remains elusive, leaving us to wonder how such a prosperous and advanced civilization could fade so completely. What makes Petra even more fascinating is the sheer scale of its architecture. Entire buildings, temples, and tombs were carved directly into the rock, a feat that required not only remarkable engineering but also a deep understanding of the environment. The rose-red cliffs themselves seem to come alive with the stories of those who once walked these ancient streets. Today, Petra stands as a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, a reminder of how even the most remote and inhospitable places can become centers of life and culture. As we marvel at Petra's grandeur, it's hard not to wonder what other secrets lie buried beneath its sands. What untold stories might the city still hold? And what lessons can we learn from its rise and fall? Petra is more than just a lost city. It's a window into a world that thrived against all odds, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and mystify us. Could an ancient artifact resembling a simple clay jar hold the key to understanding the spiritual and technological sophistication of a long-lost civilization? Let's turn our attention to the Baghdad Battery, one of history's most baffling discoveries. Found in the 1930s near what was once ancient Mesopotamia, this mysterious object consists of a ceramic pot, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod components that, when combined with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, could theoretically generate a small electrical charge. But what was its purpose? While some theorize it was used for electroplating jewelry, others suggest a far more intriguing possibility: that it played a role in ancient religious ceremonies or served as a powerful symbol of divine energy. Imagine the awe it might have inspired in those who witnessed it. In a world where electricity was unknown, the Baghdad Battery could have been seen as a conduit to the gods, a tool to bridge the gap between the earthly and the divine. Picture a temple dimly lit by flickering oil lamps, where priests used this enigmatic device to create sparks or glowing effects during rituals. Such a display would have reinforced their authority, convincing worshippers of their connection to higher powers. The battery might not have been just a scientific curiosity, but a sacred object imbued with spiritual significance. This artifact also offers a glimpse into the cultural values of ancient Mesopotamia. The very act of creating something so advanced for its time speaks to a society that valued innovation and perhaps even sought to harness the mysteries of the natural world. The Baghdad Battery could have been a symbol of power, not just for its potential electrical properties, but for what it represented: knowledge, control, and a link to the unseen forces that governed their lives. It's a reminder that technology and spirituality were often intertwined in the ancient world, each reinforcing the other. As we ponder the Baghdad Battery, we're reminded of how artifacts like this connect us to the spiritual world of our ancestors. They challenge us to rethink what we know about ancient civilizations and their understanding of the universe. Was this device a practical tool, a sacred relic, or both? Its true purpose may remain a mystery, but its existence invites us to explore the deeper connections between science, religion, and power in the ancient world, a world that continues to captivate our imagination. Among the many artifacts that challenge our understanding of ancient ingenuity, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a truly perplexing discovery. Found in the 1930s near what is now modern-day Iraq, this small clay jar, roughly the size of a fist, contains a copper cylinder and an iron rod, all sealed with an asphalt plug. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary storage vessel, but when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or wine, it's capable of producing a small electric charge. Could this be evidence of ancient electroplating or even a primitive form of communication? Some theories suggest it might have been used in warfare, perhaps to create a startling effect on the battlefield, while others propose it served as a tool for healing or religious rituals. The possibilities are as intriguing as they are varied, and they force us to rethink what we know about the technological capabilities of ancient civilizations. The Baghdad Battery, if that's indeed what it was, hints at a level of sophistication that we rarely attribute to societies from over 2,000 years ago. Imagine the shock, both literal and metaphorical, of encountering such a device in a world where electricity was thought to be a modern discovery. It raises questions about who these people were, what they knew, and how they applied that knowledge. Were they experimenting with energy in ways we've yet to fully understand? Or was this artifact part of a larger, lost system of technology that has since faded into obscurity? The implications are staggering, suggesting that ancient societies were far more advanced and perhaps more interconnected than we've traditionally assumed. What's particularly fascinating is how this discovery challenges the linear narrative of human progress. We often think of technology as evolving in a straight line, with each generation building on the last. But the Baghdad Battery reminds us that history is far messier and more complex. It's a testament to the creativity and resourcefulness of ancient peoples, who may have developed solutions to problems we're only now beginning to comprehend. Whether it was used for practical purposes or symbolic ones, this artifact serves as a powerful reminder that the past is full of surprises and that there's still so much we have yet to uncover. As we continue to explore these mysteries, we're not just learning about history, we're also gaining a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of those who came before us. Moving from the enigmatic stone circles and megaliths, we now turn our attention to a discovery that seems to defy the timeline of human innovation: the Baghdad Battery. Unearthed near the ancient city of Ctesiphon in modern-day Iraq, this peculiar artifact dates back to the Parthian or Sassanid era, around 2,000 years ago. At first glance, it appears to be a simple clay jar, but inside lies a copper cylinder and an iron rod, separated by an asphalt plug. When filled with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, this combination could produce a small electric charge, a potential ancient battery. But what was its purpose? Some scholars suggest it might have been used in electroplating, a technique to coat objects with a thin layer of metal, perhaps for artistic or decorative purposes. Imagine intricate jewelry or ceremonial objects shimmering with gold or silver, crafted with the help of this rudimentary device. Others propose it could have held symbolic significance, a testament to the ingenuity and status of its owner. After all, possessing such a mysterious and advanced artifact would have been a mark of prestige in ancient Mesopotamia. Beyond its practical or symbolic use, the Baghdad Battery invites us to reconsider the technological capabilities of ancient civilizations. It challenges the assumption that electricity was a modern discovery, hinting at a level of creativity and experimentation that we often underestimate. Could this be evidence of a forgotten chapter in the history of science, or is it simply a fascinating anomaly, a one-off invention that never gained widespread use? The cultural implications of artifacts like the Baghdad Battery are profound. They remind us that ancient societies were not static or primitive but dynamic, innovative, and deeply curious about the world around them. This small clay jar, with its unexpected potential, reflects the boundless creativity of humanity, a creativity that transcends time and continues to inspire us today. As we ponder its mysteries, we're reminded that the past is far more complex and intriguing than we often give it credit for. And speaking of creativity, this artifact is just one example of how ancient civilizations pushed the boundaries of what was possible. It sets the stage for our next mystery, where we'll explore another remarkable invention that showcases the brilliance of the ancient world. But what if ancient civilizations were far more connected and far more advanced than we've ever imagined? Enter the Baghdad Battery, one of history's most baffling artifacts, discovered in the 1930s near the ancient city of Ctesiphon. This peculiar object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. When filled with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, it could potentially generate a small electric charge. But here's the real mystery: what was it used for? Some researchers believe the Baghdad Battery might have played a role in ancient trade. Imagine traders using these devices to electroplate jewelry or other small items, giving their goods a distinctive, high-quality finish that could fetch a higher price in distant markets. Others speculate it could have been a navigational tool, helping ancient mariners chart their course across vast oceans. If true, this would suggest a level of technological sophistication we rarely associate with the ancient world. The implications for our understanding of ancient economies are staggering. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for trade or navigation, it points to a highly interconnected network of civilizations, a kind of ancient globalization. Goods, ideas, and technologies could have flowed freely across continents, far earlier than we once thought. This artifact isn't just a curiosity. It's a symbol of how much we still have to learn about the ingenuity of our ancestors. And as we uncover more clues, the story of the Baghdad Battery reminds us that the past might hold secrets far more advanced and far more interconnected than we ever imagined. But what if the Baghdad Battery wasn't just a curious artifact but a tool that played a role in ancient medicine? Discovered in modern-day Iraq and dating back nearly 2,000 years, this small clay jar filled with a copper cylinder and an iron rod has sparked endless debate. While some argue it was nothing more than a storage vessel for scrolls, others propose a far more intriguing possibility: that it was an early form of a battery, possibly used for electrotherapy or healing rituals. Imagine a world where ancient healers harnessed the subtle power of electricity to treat ailments, long before the modern era of medicine. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. Ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we often give them credit for, and their understanding of natural phenomena could have been surprisingly sophisticated. If the Baghdad Battery truly generated a small electrical charge, it might have been used to stimulate muscles, relieve pain, or even perform rudimentary medical procedures. Think about the implications. This would mean that ancient societies were experimenting with electrotherapy centuries before it became a recognized practice in the modern world. But how does this fit into the broader picture of ancient healthcare? If the Baghdad Battery was indeed a medical tool, it could suggest that ancient practitioners had a deeper understanding of the human body and its responses to external stimuli than previously thought. It also raises questions about how widespread this knowledge was. Were similar devices used in other parts of the ancient world? Could this be a glimpse into a forgotten chapter of medical history, one that challenges our assumptions about the capabilities of early civilizations? The Baghdad Battery doesn't just connect us to the technological ingenuity of the past. It also offers a window into the ways ancient cultures approached health and healing. By examining artifacts like this, we're reminded that the boundaries of history are far more fluid than we imagine. What we consider groundbreaking today might have roots in practices that were lost to time, waiting to be rediscovered. Could an ancient artifact, often dismissed as a mere curiosity, hold the key to understanding how civilizations thousands of years ago managed their most vital resource, water? Enter the Baghdad Battery, a mysterious object discovered in the 1930s near what was once the heart of the Parthian Empire. At first glance, it looks unremarkable: a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. But when scientists replicated its design, they discovered it could generate a small electric charge. While some speculate it was used for electroplating or religious rituals, another intriguing possibility emerges. What if it was a tool for ancient agriculture? Imagine a world where ancient farmers used this simple device to power early irrigation systems. The Baghdad Battery could have been part of a larger network, helping to move water across fields in arid regions where every drop was precious. This wouldn't just be a technological leap. It would represent a profound understanding of sustainability long before the term entered our modern vocabulary. Ancient civilizations like the Parthians and their predecessors were masters of water management, building intricate Carnac systems to channel groundwater to crops. Could this battery have been another piece of that puzzle, a way to enhance their ability to sustain life in challenging environments? The implications are staggering. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used in agriculture, it would force us to rethink the sophistication of ancient farming practices. It suggests that these societies weren't just surviving, they were innovating, finding ways to harness natural resources with ingenuity and foresight. This challenges the common perception that ancient technology was primitive, revealing instead a legacy of sustainability that modern societies could learn from. And that's the real mystery here. Beyond its physical form, the Baghdad Battery stands as a symbol of ancient wisdom, a reminder that the past holds lessons we've yet to fully uncover. What other innovations might have been lost to time, waiting for us to rediscover them? As we explore the next mystery, consider how these ancient marvels might reshape our understanding of history itself. Now, let's turn our attention to a discovery that seems to blur the line between ancient ingenuity and modern technology: the Baghdad Battery. Found in the ruins of a 2,000-year-old settlement near modern-day Iraq, this peculiar artifact consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. When filled with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, it has the potential to generate a small electrical charge. But what was its purpose? Could this ancient device have been used as a tool for learning or experimentation in the ancient world? The idea that the Baghdad Battery might have been an educational tool is fascinating. Imagine a classroom in Mesopotamia where scholars and students gathered to explore the principles of electricity long before the modern era. While we can't say for certain if this was its primary use, the possibility opens up a window into how ancient societies might have approached scientific inquiry. Did they use it to demonstrate chemical reactions or to teach about conductivity? If so, it suggests a level of sophistication in their understanding of natural phenomena that challenges our assumptions about the past. This artifact also raises broader questions about the transmission of knowledge in ancient times. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for educational purposes, it hints at a structured system of learning and experimentation. Perhaps it was part of a larger network of intellectual exchange where ideas and discoveries were shared across cultures. The implications are profound. What other advanced concepts might ancient civilizations have explored that we've yet to uncover? What's particularly striking is how the Baghdad Battery reflects the intellectual curiosity of its creators. It's not just a functional object. It's a testament to the human desire to understand and manipulate the world. Whether used for teaching, experimentation, or even something as simple as electroplating, this artifact underscores the depth of ancient knowledge systems. It reminds us that innovation isn't a modern phenomenon, it's a timeless part of the human story. As we ponder the Baghdad Battery, we're left with a sense of wonder at the ingenuity of ancient societies. This small, unassuming jar challenges us to rethink what we know about the past and the capabilities of those who came before us. And as we move forward, it serves as a powerful reminder that the pursuit of knowledge has always been at the heart of human progress. Moving on to the 36th mystery, we encounter an artifact that has puzzled historians and scientists alike, the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in modern-day Iraq, this peculiar object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all carefully assembled in a way that resembles a primitive battery. While its exact purpose remains shrouded in mystery, some theories suggest it might have been used in ancient entertainment or as a tool for performance. Imagine, for a moment, the possibility that this device was employed to create small electrical effects during theatrical productions or religious ceremonies. Picture the awe it could have inspired in audiences witnessing what might have seemed like magic at the time. If this theory holds weight, it opens up a fascinating window into ancient leisure activities. The idea that such a device could have been used for entertainment challenges our assumptions about how past societies spent their free time. Were there ancient magicians or performers who used these batteries to dazzle their audiences? Could this have been an early form of special effects, adding an extra layer of spectacle to storytelling or rituals? The implications are profound, suggesting that our ancestors were far more inventive and experimental than we often give them credit for. Beyond its potential role in entertainment, the Baghdad Battery also stands as a symbol of ancient creativity and ingenuity. It reminds us that innovation isn't a modern phenomenon. Humans have always sought to push boundaries and explore the unknown. Whether it was used for practical purposes, entertainment, or even something entirely different, this artifact underscores the resourcefulness of ancient cultures. It's a testament to their ability to harness the world around them in ways that continue to surprise and inspire us today. As we consider the Baghdad Battery, we're left with more questions than answers. But perhaps that's the beauty of it. It invites us to reimagine the past, to see ancient civilizations not as static or primitive, but as dynamic and inventive. This small clay jar, with its mysterious contents, challenges us to think beyond the obvious and to appreciate the boundless creativity of those who came before us. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most perplexing artifacts from the ancient world, the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in the 1930s near the outskirts of what was once Mesopotamia, this mysterious object has sparked endless debate among historians and archaeologists. At first glance, it appears to be a simple clay jar, but inside you'll find a copper cylinder and an iron rod, all sealed together with a bitumen stopper. While some believe it was used for electroplating jewelry, others suggest it might have played a far more intriguing role in ancient governance or administration. Imagine for a moment an ancient bureaucrat using this device to mark official documents, perhaps applying a faint electrical charge to create a unique seal or symbol. Or perhaps it was part of a larger system used to authenticate trade agreements or royal decrees. If true, this would mean that ancient Mesopotamian societies had not only mastered the basics of electricity, but had also integrated it into their political and administrative structures. Such a discovery would completely reshape our understanding of how these civilizations operated, revealing a level of sophistication that rivals even some modern systems. The implications are staggering. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used in governance, it suggests that ancient leaders were far more organized and innovative than we often give them credit for. It hints at a society where technology and politics were deeply intertwined, where tools like this battery weren't just curiosities but essential instruments of power and control. This artifact doesn't just challenge our assumptions about ancient technology, it forces us to rethink the very nature of political systems in the ancient world. What's even more fascinating is how this battery reflects the broader organizational skills of ancient civilizations. From the construction of monumental architecture to the development of complex legal codes, these societies were masters of coordination and innovation. The Baghdad Battery, whether used for governance or another purpose, stands as a testament to their ingenuity. It's a reminder that the past is far more layered and surprising than we often imagine, filled with mysteries that continue to challenge and inspire us. The Baghdad Battery is one of those artifacts that blurs the line between science and spirituality, leaving us to wonder just how advanced ancient civilizations truly were. Discovered in modern-day Iraq during the 1930s, this curious object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, components that, when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, could theoretically generate a small electric charge. But here's where the mystery deepens. Was this device used for something as practical as electroplating, or did it serve a more profound spiritual purpose? Some researchers have proposed that the Baghdad Battery might have been used in ancient rituals or religious ceremonies. Imagine a dimly lit temple where the faint hum of electricity, something that would have seemed almost magical at the time, was harnessed to create awe-inspiring effects. Perhaps the battery powered small lights or even produced mild shocks, creating an otherworldly experience for worshippers. This theory suggests that ancient societies may have viewed electricity not just as a tool, but as a divine force, a tangible connection to the gods or the spiritual realm. If this were the case, it would completely reshape our understanding of ancient religious practices. Electricity, often considered a modern discovery, could have been revered as a sacred phenomenon thousands of years ago. The Baghdad Battery might have been a symbol of devotion, a way to bridge the gap between the earthly and the divine. It raises questions about how ancient people perceived the natural world around them. Did they see electricity as a gift from the heavens, a manifestation of divine power? The implications are staggering. If this humble clay jar was indeed used in spiritual contexts, it suggests that the ancients had a sophisticated understanding of both the physical and metaphysical worlds. They may have seen no separation between science and religion, viewing the two as intertwined. The Baghdad Battery could be a testament to their ingenuity, not just in crafting tools, but in creating experiences that inspired wonder, reverence, and a deeper connection to the unseen forces they believed governed their lives. As we ponder the true purpose of this enigmatic artifact, it's hard not to see it as a symbol of ancient devotion, a reminder of humanity's enduring quest to understand the mysteries of existence. Whether it was a practical device or a sacred object, the Baghdad Battery challenges us to rethink what we know about the past and the ways in which ancient cultures sought to make sense of the world around them. And perhaps in doing so, it invites us to reflect on our own relationship with the unknown. One of the most intriguing artifacts to emerge from the ancient world is the Baghdad Battery, a mysterious object that has sparked endless debate among historians and archaeologists. Discovered in the 1930s near Baghdad, Iraq, this odd contraption consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all carefully arranged in a way that suggests it could have functioned as a primitive battery. But what was its purpose? Could this ancient device have been used in warfare or as a tool for defense? The idea might sound far-fetched at first, but when we consider the ingenuity of ancient civilizations, it's not entirely out of the question. Imagine for a moment an ancient battlefield. The air is thick with tension as soldiers prepare for combat. Among their tools of war, could there have been devices powered by something as unexpected as electricity? Some researchers speculate that the Baghdad Battery might have been used to deliver small electric shocks, perhaps to stun enemies or even to power early forms of electroplating, creating weapons with a sharper, more durable edge. While this theory remains speculative, it opens up a fascinating window into how ancient warriors might have approached the art of war. Were they experimenting with electricity long before we thought possible? If so, it would completely reshape our understanding of their technological capabilities. But let's not stop there. What if the Baghdad Battery wasn't just a tool of offense, but also a means of defense? Could it have been used to create early warning systems or even to power mechanisms that fortified city walls? Ancient military strategies often relied on surprise and innovation, and the use of such a device would have given its creators a significant advantage. The implications are staggering. This small, unassuming object could hint at a level of sophistication in ancient warfare that we've only begun to uncover. What makes the Baghdad Battery so compelling isn't just its potential function, but what it says about the people who created it. This wasn't just a random invention. It was a product of curiosity, experimentation, and a drive to push the boundaries of what was possible. Whether it was used in battle or for some other purpose, the Baghdad Battery stands as a testament to the ingenuity of ancient warriors and engineers. It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about the past and reminds us that history is often far more complex and far more fascinating than we give it credit for. The Baghdad Battery, a small clay jar discovered in modern-day Iraq, has puzzled historians and archaeologists for decades. Dating back to the Parthian or Sasanian period, roughly 2,000 years ago, this artifact consists of a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and traces of an acidic substance like vinegar or wine. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary storage vessel, but its design suggests something far more intriguing. When filled with an acidic solution, the jar could theoretically generate a small electric charge enough to power a low-voltage device. But what exactly was this ancient battery used for? One compelling theory is that the Baghdad Battery played a role in ancient trade and commerce. Imagine a bustling marketplace in the heart of Mesopotamia, where merchants from distant lands gathered to exchange goods. Could this battery have been used to electroplate metals, creating ornate jewelry or gilded objects that fetched higher prices? Electroplating, a process that uses electricity to coat one metal with another, would have been a valuable technique for artisans looking to enhance their wares. If true, this would suggest that ancient civilizations had a far more advanced understanding of chemistry and electricity than we typically give them credit for. But the implications go even deeper. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed a tool for commerce, it could rewrite our understanding of ancient economies. Trade routes stretching from the Mediterranean to the Indus Valley were already thriving, but the use of such technology would indicate a level of sophistication that challenges our assumptions about the past. It raises the question, were these ancient societies not just trading goods, but also exchanging knowledge and innovations? The Baghdad Battery also serves as a symbol of ancient prosperity. In a time when the world was connected through trade, ideas, and culture, this artifact might represent the ingenuity and ambition of civilizations that thrived long before the modern era. It reminds us that the past is full of surprises, and that even the smallest discoveries can shed light on the grand tapestry of human history. As we consider the mysteries of the Baghdad Battery, it's worth reflecting on how much we still have to learn about the ancient world. What other technologies might have been lost to time, and how might these discoveries reshape our understanding of the people who came before us? The Baghdad Battery, a small, unassuming artifact discovered near modern-day Iraq, has sparked endless debates among historians and archaeologists. At first glance, it looks like a simple clay jar about the size of a hand, with a copper cylinder inside and an iron rod tucked carefully within. But what makes this object so fascinating is the possibility that it might have been an ancient battery, capable of generating a small electrical charge. If true, it would rewrite our understanding of ancient innovation, suggesting that people thousands of years ago were experimenting with electricity long before we thought possible. But let's take a step back and consider another intriguing angle. Could the Baghdad Battery have been used in ancient art? Imagine for a moment the creative possibilities. Artists in antiquity were masters of their craft, using everything from natural pigments to intricate tools to bring their visions to life. If this device could produce even a faint electrical current, perhaps it was used to create unique effects in their work, like electroplating gold or silver onto sculptures, adding a shimmering, otherworldly finish to their creations. This wouldn't just be a technical achievement, it would reveal a deep connection between science and art, showing how ancient cultures blended practicality with beauty. The implications of this are profound. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used in artistic practices, it would tell us that ancient societies valued not just functionality but also aesthetic expression. They weren't just solving problems, they were elevating their solutions into something beautiful. This challenges the modern assumption that ancient technology was purely utilitarian. Instead, it suggests that creativity and innovation were intertwined, with artistry driving experimentation and vice versa. And let's not forget the cultural significance. The Baghdad Battery, if tied to artistic expression, reflects the aesthetic sensibilities of its time. Ancient Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization, was a place where art, science, and spirituality were deeply connected. Temples, palaces, and everyday objects were adorned with intricate designs, each carrying symbolic meaning. If this battery played a role in that creative process, it would underscore how much ancient cultures valued the marriage of form and function. So, was the Baghdad Battery a tool for creativity? While we may never know for certain, the idea invites us to rethink how we view the past. It reminds us that ancient people were not so different from us, driven by curiosity, inspired by beauty, and always seeking to push the boundaries of what was possible. And as we continue to uncover the secrets of artifacts like this one, we're reminded that history is not just a record of what happened, but a window into the minds and hearts of those who came before us. What if the ancient world had access to technology far more advanced than we've ever imagined? This is the question that arises when we examine the Baghdad Battery, a curious artifact that has puzzled historians and scientists alike. Discovered in the 1930s near what is now modern-day Iraq, This object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all seemingly designed to hold an acidic substance. At first glance, it looks like a simple container, but when you consider its components, it's hard not to wonder, was this an ancient battery? And if so, what was it used for? One compelling theory is that the Baghdad Battery wasn't just a tool for generating small amounts of electricity, but a device used in ancient education or knowledge dissemination. Imagine a classroom thousands of years ago where scholars demonstrated the principles of chemistry and energy to eager students. The battery could have served as a hands-on teaching tool, allowing learners to witness the interaction of metals and acids firsthand. This would suggest that ancient societies placed a high value on scientific exploration and experimentation, far beyond what we often assume. The implications of this are profound. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for educational purposes, it challenges the traditional narrative that ancient civilizations were primitive in their understanding of science and technology. Instead, it paints a picture of a society that valued curiosity, innovation, and the sharing of knowledge. This artifact could be a testament to the intellectual achievements of the ancient world, hinting at a level of sophistication in learning that we're only beginning to uncover. But why would such a device be necessary in an ancient classroom? One possibility is that it was used to demonstrate the principles of electroplating, a process that involves using electricity to coat one metal with another. This technique was known in the ancient world, as evidenced by artifacts like gilded jewelry. The Baghdad Battery could have been the tool that made such demonstrations possible, bridging the gap between theory and practice in a way that inspired awe and understanding. Beyond its potential educational use, the Baghdad Battery also stands as a symbol of ancient wisdom. It reminds us that the people of the past were not merely passive recipients of knowledge but active seekers and innovators. They observed the world around them, experimented with its materials, and shared their discoveries with others. This artifact challenges us to rethink our assumptions about history and to consider the possibility that ancient civilizations were far more advanced and interconnected than we've ever realized. As we marvel at the ingenuity of the Baghdad Battery, it's worth reflecting on what it represents. This small, unassuming object is a window into a world where knowledge was not just preserved but actively pursued and shared. It's a reminder that the pursuit of understanding is timeless, transcending the boundaries of culture and era. And as we continue to uncover the mysteries of the ancient world, perhaps we'll find even more evidence of their remarkable achievements, waiting to inspire us once again. Now, let's turn our attention to a curious artifact that has baffled historians and scientists alike: the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in modern-day Iraq, this ancient object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod with traces of acidic residue inside. While some believe it was simply a storage vessel, others argue it could have functioned as a primitive battery, capable of generating a small electric charge. But if this was indeed a battery, what role might it have played in the ancient world? Could it have been a tool for governance or leadership, a symbol of power wielded by rulers to awe and inspire their subjects? Imagine the scene: an ancient king or high priest surrounded by advisors and citizens, demonstrating this mysterious device. The faint crackle of electricity, invisible yet undeniable, would have seemed nothing short of miraculous to those who witnessed it. In a time when science and spirituality were deeply intertwined, such a device could have been used to reinforce the ruler's authority, presenting them as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The ability to harness what would have appeared as otherworldly power might have been a strategic tool for maintaining control and order within the kingdom. But the implications go even further. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used in this way, it challenges our assumptions about ancient political structures. We often think of governance in the ancient world as relying solely on military might, religious influence, or economic control. The idea that early leaders might have also used technology, or at least the perception of it, suggests a more sophisticated understanding of power dynamics than we typically attribute to these civilizations. It raises questions about how rulers maintained their legitimacy and how they manipulated the unknown to their advantage. What's fascinating is how this artifact reflects the ingenuity of ancient societies. Whether it was a functional battery or a symbolic object, its very existence speaks to a culture that valued innovation and experimentation. It reminds us that the past is far more complex than we often give it credit for, filled with innovations that blur the line between science and myth. The Baghdad Battery isn't just a relic, it's a window into how ancient leaders might have used technology or the illusion of it to shape their world and command their people. As we ponder the mysteries of this ancient device, it's hard not to marvel at the ways it connects to broader themes of authority and control. The Baghdad Battery isn't just about electricity. It's about the spark of leadership, the ability to inspire awe, and the lengths to which rulers went to secure their power. And as we move forward, this artifact serves as a reminder that even the most enigmatic objects can reveal profound truths about the societies that created them. Among the many enigmatic artifacts left behind by ancient civilizations, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a particularly fascinating puzzle. Discovered in modern-day Iraq during the 1930s, this small clay jar, roughly the size of a hand, contains a copper cylinder and an iron rod, all encased in a protective layer of asphalt. At first glance, it resembles a simple storage vessel, but when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, it has the potential to generate a small electric charge. While some argue it was used for electroplating jewelry or other practical purposes, others propose a far more intriguing possibility. Could this ancient device have been used in spiritual or introspective practices? Imagine for a moment an ancient philosopher or spiritual seeker in Mesopotamia, thousands of years ago, sitting in a dimly lit chamber. They reach for this curious jar, filling it with a conductive liquid, and feel the faint tingle of electricity coursing through their hands. Could this have been a tool for enlightenment, a way to simulate the divine spark within? Some scholars suggest that the Baghdad Battery might have been used in rituals to induce altered states of consciousness, helping individuals connect with higher realms of thought or the divine. This idea challenges our modern assumptions about ancient technology, suggesting that these societies may have explored the boundaries of human perception in ways we're only beginning to understand. The implications of this theory are profound. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for spiritual or philosophical purposes, it reveals a layer of sophistication in ancient thought that goes beyond mere survival or craftsmanship. It hints at a deep yearning to understand the nature of existence, to bridge the gap between the material and the metaphysical. This artifact could symbolize an early attempt to harness unseen forces, not just for practical ends, but for the pursuit of wisdom and self-discovery. In this light, the Baghdad Battery becomes more than just a technological curiosity. It becomes a testament to humanity's timeless quest for meaning. As we ponder the possibilities, it's worth considering how this ancient device reflects the broader philosophical traditions of Mesopotamia. This region is often regarded as the cradle of civilization, where writing, law, and organized religion first emerged. Could the Baghdad Battery be a physical manifestation of the introspective and philosophical currents that flowed through this land? Whether it was used to inspire awe, facilitate meditation, or symbolize the union of opposites, this artifact invites us to rethink the relationship between ancient technology and spirituality. The Baghdad Battery, with its mysterious purpose and potential for generating energy, serves as a powerful reminder that the ancients were not only builders and warriors but also thinkers and seekers. It challenges us to look beyond the surface of their achievements and consider the deeper motivations that drove them. As we move forward in our exploration of the ancient world, let this artifact stand as a symbol of humanity's enduring curiosity, a spark of inquiry that continues to light our way through the mysteries of the past. Among the many artifacts that challenge our understanding of ancient technology, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a tantalizing enigma. Discovered in the 1930s near what is now modern-day Iraq, this peculiar object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all sealed together. While some speculate it was used for electroplating or even medical purposes, another intriguing theory suggests it might have played a role in ancient warfare. Could this ancient device have been a tool for conquest, giving its creators an edge on the battlefield? Imagine an ancient general, armed not just with swords and shields, but with a rudimentary form of technology that could intimidate or even disable an enemy. The Baghdad Battery, if used in this way, might have been employed to create small electrical shocks or sparks, perhaps to startle horses, disrupt enemy formations, or even create the illusion of divine intervention. In a time when superstition often dictated the morale of soldiers, such a device could have been a psychological weapon as much as a physical one. What's fascinating is how this changes our perception of ancient military tactics. We often think of ancient warfare as reliant solely on brute force and strategy, but the Baghdad Battery suggests a level of innovation that rivals even modern military ingenuity. It's a reminder that ancient civilizations were far more sophisticated than we sometimes give them credit for. This artifact hints at a world where generals weren't just warriors but also inventors, constantly seeking new ways to outmaneuver their foes. The implications are profound. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used in warfare, it would mean that ancient armies were experimenting with technology that we wouldn't fully understand or replicate for centuries. It challenges the narrative that technological advancement is a linear progression, showing instead that innovation can emerge in unexpected ways, even in the distant past. As we reflect on the Baghdad Battery, it's not just a testament to ancient ingenuity, but also a symbol of the strategic minds that shaped history. These were leaders who understood the power of both physical and psychological warfare, and who weren't afraid to push the boundaries of what was possible. The next time you hear about ancient battles, remember there may have been more to their tactics than meets the eye. Moving on to the 46th mystery, we encounter an artifact that has puzzled historians and archaeologists for decades, the Baghdad Battery. Discovered in the 1930s near the ancient city of Ctesiphon, this curious object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. When filled with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, it could theoretically generate a small electric charge. But what was its purpose? Some researchers suggest it might have been used in ancient trade or as a tool for economic growth, sparking intriguing questions about the sophistication of ancient markets. Imagine a world where this battery was used to electroplate jewelry or coins, giving merchants an edge in creating more durable and attractive products. This could have revolutionized trade, allowing artisans to produce goods that stood out in competitive markets. Alternatively, it might have served a more practical function, such as preserving food or even in medical treatments. While we can't say for certain, the mere existence of such a device hints at a level of innovation that challenges our assumptions about ancient societies. What's especially fascinating is how this artifact reflects the entrepreneurial spirit of its time. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for economic purposes, it suggests that ancient civilizations were not only technologically inventive but also deeply attuned to the demands of commerce. This could reshape our understanding of how ancient markets operated, revealing a world where innovation and trade were closely intertwined. As we ponder the possibilities, one thing becomes clear: the Baghdad Battery is more than just a relic. It's a symbol of ancient entrepreneurship, a reminder that the drive to innovate and thrive economically is as old as civilization itself. And with that, we're left to wonder what other secrets of ancient ingenuity might still be waiting to be uncovered. Among the many enigmatic artifacts of the ancient world, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a particularly fascinating mystery. Discovered in the 1930s near the ruins of an ancient settlement in modern-day Iraq, this curious object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. At first glance, it might seem like a simple container, but to modern eyes, it bears a striking resemblance to a primitive electrical cell. Could this ancient artifact have been used to generate a small electrical charge? And if so, what purpose could it have served in a world we often assume lacked such technology? One compelling theory suggests that the Baghdad Battery might have been tied to art and cultural expression. Imagine for a moment an ancient artisan using this device to apply a thin layer of gold or silver to a sculpture or piece of jewelry through a rudimentary form of electroplating. While this idea remains speculative, it opens up intriguing possibilities about how ancient cultures might have experimented with materials and techniques to create works of beauty and significance. The very thought challenges our assumptions about the technological capabilities of ancient societies and invites us to reconsider the sophistication of their artistic practices. But beyond its potential practical uses, the Baghdad Battery might also reflect something deeper about the people who created it: their curiosity, their ingenuity, and their desire to explore the unknown. If this object was indeed used in artistic or ceremonial contexts, it could reveal a profound connection between science and aesthetics in the ancient world. Perhaps it wasn't just about function, but also about the awe-inspiring effect of combining materials in ways that seemed almost magical. This blend of practicality and artistry would suggest a worldview where technology and beauty were not separate domains but intertwined expressions of human creativity. The implications for our understanding of ancient aesthetics are profound. If the Baghdad Battery was used in art, it would hint at a culture that valued innovation and experimentation, one that sought to push the boundaries of what was possible. It challenges us to see ancient civilizations not as static or primitive but as dynamic and forward-thinking, capable of blending science and art in ways that still captivate us today. This artifact, whether a tool or a symbol, serves as a testament to the artistic vision of its creators, a vision that continues to spark wonder and debate centuries later. As we ponder the mysteries of the Baghdad Battery, it's impossible not to marvel at the ingenuity of those who came before us. Their legacy reminds us that the pursuit of beauty and knowledge is a timeless endeavor, one that transcends the boundaries of time and culture. And with that, we turn to another mystery that invites us to explore the extraordinary achievements of the ancient world. Imagine stumbling upon a small, unassuming clay jar in the ruins of an ancient civilization, only to discover it might hold the key to rewriting history. That's exactly what happened when archaeologists uncovered what we now call the Baghdad Battery, a peculiar artifact dating back to the Parthian or Sasanian period, somewhere between 200 BC and 200 CE. This mysterious object, consisting of a clay pot, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, has sparked endless debate. Could it have been an ancient battery? And if so, what does that say about the intellectual ambitions of the people who created it? At first glance, the Baghdad Battery seems almost too simple to be revolutionary. Yet, when filled with an acidic or alkaline substance like vinegar or lemon juice, the jar could have generated a small electrical charge. Some researchers believe it might have been used for electroplating, coating objects with a thin layer of metal. while others speculate it could have served as a tool for early experiments in electricity. But what's truly fascinating is the possibility that this device wasn't just a practical tool. It might have been a symbol of ancient curiosity and a testament to humanity's timeless desire to understand and harness the forces of nature. The implications are staggering. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used for educational or experimental purposes, it suggests that ancient scholars weren't just passive observers of the world around them, they were active seekers of knowledge, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. This challenges the modern assumption that advanced scientific thought only emerged much later in history. Could this humble artifact be evidence of an ancient intellectual tradition that valued experimentation and innovation? What's even more intriguing is the idea that the Baghdad Battery might represent a bridge between practical technology and philosophical inquiry. In a world where the line between science and spirituality was often blurred, this device could have been both a tool and a teaching aid, sparking discussions about the nature of energy, the cosmos, and humanity's place within it. It's a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge has always been a deeply human endeavor, driven by the same curiosity that fuels us today. As we ponder the Baghdad Battery, it's hard not to feel a sense of connection to the ancient minds who crafted it. Whether it was used for electroplating, medical treatments, or simply as a demonstration of a newfound principle, this artifact stands as a symbol of ancient ingenuity, a testament to the idea that even in the distant past, people were asking big questions and seeking answers in ways that continue to inspire us. It's a mystery that not only challenges our understanding of history, but also reminds us of the enduring power of human curiosity. Among the many enigmatic artifacts that have survived from the ancient world, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a particularly fascinating puzzle. Discovered in the 1930s near the outskirts of modern-day Iraq, this peculiar object consists of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, elements that, when combined with an acidic substance like vinegar or lemon juice, could theoretically produce a small electric charge. While its exact purpose remains debated, some historians and archaeologists have proposed that it might have been used in ancient governance or as a tool for societal organization. Could this humble device have played a role in the administration of one of the world's earliest civilizations? The idea of the Baghdad Battery being linked to governance might sound far-fetched at first, but let's consider the context. Ancient Mesopotamia, where this artifact was found, was home to some of the most advanced administrative systems of its time. From meticulous record-keeping on clay tablets to the development of standardized weights and measures, the region's bureaucracies were remarkably sophisticated. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed capable of generating electricity, even on a small scale, it could have been used for practical purposes such as electroplating, coating objects with a thin layer of metal, or even as a tool for authentication. For instance, marking official seals or documents with a unique metallic finish could have been a way to prevent forgery, a constant challenge for ancient administrators. Beyond its potential practical uses, the Baghdad Battery also raises intriguing questions about how ancient societies managed resources and technology. If this device was part of a larger system of tools or techniques, it hints at a level of innovation and organization that we often underestimate. Unlike the grand monuments or sprawling cities we typically associate with ancient civilizations, the Baghdad Battery represents something subtler but no less significant: the quiet efficiency of a society that valued precision and ingenuity in its day-to-day operations. This artifact reminds us that the true strength of ancient bureaucracies may have lain not in their size or grandeur, but in their ability to harness even the smallest advancements to maintain order and control. What's particularly striking about this mystery is how it challenges our assumptions about the past. We often think of ancient civilizations as relying solely on manual labor and simple tools, but discoveries like the Baghdad Battery suggest that they may have been far more inventive than we give them credit for. Whether it was used for administrative purposes, scientific experimentation, or something entirely different, this artifact reflects a society that was not only capable of complex governance, but also willing to explore the boundaries of what technology could achieve. And in doing so, it offers us a glimpse into the minds of those who lived thousands of years ago, people who, like us, sought to solve problems and improve their world through innovation. As we ponder the Baghdad Battery's potential role in ancient governance, it's hard not to marvel at the ingenuity of the civilizations that came before us. This small, unassuming object serves as a testament to the efficiency and resourcefulness of ancient bureaucracies, reminding us that even the simplest tools can have profound implications for how societies organize and thrive. And while we may never know its true purpose with absolute certainty, the Baghdad Battery continues to spark curiosity and inspire us to rethink what we thought we knew about the ancient world. Among the many enigmatic artifacts left behind by ancient civilizations, the Baghdad Battery stands out as a tantalizing mystery. Discovered in the 1930s near the outskirts of modern-day Iraq, this peculiar object consists of a terracotta jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, all seemingly assembled with purpose. While some researchers argue it could have been an early form of battery capable of generating a small electrical charge, others propose a far more intriguing possibility that it held spiritual significance, perhaps even serving as a tool for divine connection. Imagine for a moment the rituals of a long-lost civilization. If this device was used in spiritual practices, it might have been seen as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The faint electrical current it produced could have been interpreted as a sacred force, a tangible manifestation of the god's power. Such a tool would have been invaluable in ceremonies, offering priests or shamans a way to awe their followers and deepen their connection to the unseen world. This idea challenges our modern assumptions about ancient technology and spirituality. While we often separate the two, the Baghdad Battery suggests that for its creators, the line between science and faith might have been blurred. The artifact could represent a fusion of practical knowledge and profound reverence, a testament to the ingenuity and spirituality of its time. What does this mean for our understanding of ancient faith? If the Baghdad Battery was indeed a spiritual tool, it offers a glimpse into how ancient societies perceived the divine. The ability to harness even a small electrical charge might have been seen as proof of humanity's capacity to interact with higher powers. It's a reminder that for many ancient cultures, the divine wasn't distant or abstract, it was something that could be felt, experienced, and even manipulated. As we ponder this mystery, the Baghdad Battery emerges not just as a relic of ancient technology, but as a symbol of reverence. It invites us to reconsider how we view the past, reminding us that the ancients were deeply attuned to the mysteries of existence, blending their understanding of the natural world with their spiritual aspirations. And as we move forward, this artifact continues to spark curiosity, urging us to explore the profound connections between science, spirituality, and the human quest for meaning. As we close this journey through 50 of the most tantalizing unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, it's impossible not to feel a sense of awe at how much remains hidden beneath the sands of time. From the enigmatic purpose of Stonehenge to the haunting disappearance of the Roanoke colony, these mysteries are not just relics of the past, they are invitations. Invitations to question, to wonder, and to explore the limits of what we know about human history. Each one challenges us to reconsider the stories we think we understand, reminding us that the past is far more complex and mysterious than we often give it credit for. What makes these mysteries so compelling isn't just the unanswered questions they pose, it's the way they connect us to the people who came before us. The ancient builders, sailors, and thinkers who left behind these puzzles were not so different from us. They grappled with the same fundamental human desires to create, to explore, and to leave a mark on the world. And yet, their achievements often defy our modern explanations, leaving us humbled and inspired. How did they achieve such feats without the technology we take for granted today? What knowledge or wisdom have we lost over the centuries? These are the questions that keep historians, archaeologists, and curious minds like you and me coming back for more. The allure of the unknown is timeless. As the great explorer Jacques Cousteau once said, "The sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever." The same could be said of history itself. Each mystery we've explored today is a thread in the vast tapestry of human experience waiting to be unraveled. And while we may never uncover all the answers, the pursuit itself is where the magic lies. It's in the digging, the theorizing, and the shared fascination that keeps us moving forward. So, what do you think? Which of these mysteries resonates with you the most? Do you have a theory about the lost city of Atlantis or the purpose of the Nazca Lines? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the ancient world, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. There are countless more mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and we're just getting started. As we part ways, let's carry forward that sense of wonder and curiosity. The past is not a static thing, it's alive with questions waiting for us to explore. So keep asking, keep seeking, and never stop marveling at the incredible stories our ancestors left behind. After all, the greatest mysteries are the ones that inspire us to keep looking.